Hi, this is Regeline Sabat, also known as Gigi. You're listening to Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Sheryl Puterman. Sheryl Puterman is the founder and CEO at Nourishment Vitality. Sheryl is an author, international speaker, and the WWCA, that's World Women Conference and Awards, chapter leader in Israel. Welcome to the show, Sheryl.
Hi, Regeline. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here on your show this evening. Thank you.
Likewise, it's an honor to have you here today, Sheryl. Now, why don't you start off by telling us about you and where you are from?
So, firstly, I'm joining all of you from Israel. I am a mom, first and foremost. I'm a wife, and I am also the CEO and founder of Nourishment Vitality. I'm an author, an international speaker, and I am the World Women Conference and Awards chapter leader for Israel. And joining you here from Israel, and so excited to be here with you.
I love it. Now, tell us more about what inspired you to become an internationally trained and certified mind-body nutrition and wellness practitioner.
So my story is actually a long story of what it is that inspired me to actually follow this path and this career path. I've always been involved and passionate about the healing sciences, the mind-body connection, the fascinating connection between the brain, the body, and the behavior. And it was through my own life adversity that led me on my studies of the science of stress, the healing power of breath. Later on, this transitioned into nutritional psychology and mind-body nutrition. And I struggled through my life with self-sabotaging behaviors, which manifested in dysfunctional, disorderly eating. Henceforth, my passion for nutrition and finding out what truly works when it comes to overcoming and liberating oneself from self-sabotaging patterns and behavior in a way that truly works, and you can have sustainable transformation.
Absolutely amazing. Now, you're a survivor of the 2004 Asian tsunami. Tell us more about your experience surviving that tsunami.
Actually, just 2 days ago was the anniversary of the tsunami. My family and I are survivors of the 2004 Asian tsunami, one of the largest natural disasters of the last century, where sadly there were hundreds of thousands of innocent souls that lost their lives in this very violent and very sudden event. And I always spend some time in self-reflection around this time and on Boxing Day to remember and to reflect and to be very grateful for being here. And it was a very traumatic, life-changing event that for me, I can certainly say, changed the trajectory on my outlook on life from that point forward, and was actually that specific event that was the leading catalyst that led me to my studies on the science of stress, the healing power of breath. I'm very blessed to be able to help so many other people overcome their traumas today. But the actual tsunami and going through such a violent and traumatic event was extremely overwhelming and shook me to my very core. There was a lot of chaos and pandemonium and confusion. And when I returned back from this, back to Hong Kong from this traumatic event, I suffered with a tremendous amount of overwhelm and a tremendous amount of confusion. And it became my passion to be able to learn how to help myself, and today I'm able to help other people in understanding, well, what does one actually do when they go into complete panic? Because when you struggle with a panic attack, it can be extremely frightening. How should one react when you're paralyzed by fear, when you are frozen? And at the time of the tsunami, when it hit out of the blue, there was no script to follow. There wasn't any time to freeze. We grabbed the children and we ran. Our only option was to act. And thankfully, we were lucky. And a survival path actually opened up for us. And I can say that having such a life experience certainly brings its own set of challenges. Trusting in life's uncertainty became a very big issue for me. And I learned that there are some traumas, Regeline, that truly just never go away. They don't go away. They just become an integral part of who you are. You live with them, you walk around with them, you think with them, but they don't necessarily have to define you. There are ways of moving forward from our traumas. Yes, the body does remember trauma, but fear is, whilst it's a necessary feeling, can actually stop one and paralyze one from actually moving forward in their life. So it becomes important to learn how to internalize our fears and move forward from them in a way that they don't keep us stuck. And fear, as I say, can be a necessary feeling. There's so many things that we walk around afraid of in life, whether it's fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of being not good enough, but becoming aware of how to internalize these fears and no longer hide from them, but actually learn from them can really dictate how one's life can unfold moving forward.
Amen. Very inspiring. Thank you for sharing that with us, Sheryl. Now, tell us more about your experience as the chapter leader in Israel for World Women Conference and Awards.
Well, World Women Conference and Awards is such a super wonderful organization of women empowering women. And the WWCA Israel chapter provides the Israeli woman ecosystem an opportunity to empower, to network, and to create change for a positive force for good in the verticals of health, of education, of personal development, and of wealth creation. The WWCA World Women Conference and Awards is proactive in the cultural development within and between nations without any bias or conditions, and provides the opportunity to interact with an international audience through the organization. And it would be awesome, whoever is listening, tuning in, that is interested in empowering women empowerment in society, in uplifting, in supporting, and being part of a wonderful sister network, reach out and connect with us and join in our organization.
I agree. World Women Conference and Awards is truly amazing. Now, Sheryl, what is your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment? That is actually a wonderful question, and not an easy question to answer. You know, I can say that we do need to actually acknowledge our accomplishments, and yet so often we always after the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. As somebody who is actually a perfectionist, I've actually written a book on perfectionism. It's one of my challenges to actually celebrate my successes along the way. So what is my greatest accomplishment? One of my greatest accomplishments, I would say, is to be able to teach others today through the clarity of my own example. I feel truly blessed to have been able to learn through my own adversity. There is value in our experiences. There is honor in our stories. And I feel that when we're able to draw out the wisdom of the experiences that life has taught us, shown us, the lessons that we've learned, that we've internalized, if we can share this with other people to be able to help to uplift them, even if it's one person, 10 people, hundreds of people, to uplift them so that they too can make those shifts forward from wherever it is that they're feeling challenged in their life, well, then I think that's an accomplishment to be celebrated.
Amen. Absolutely amazing. Now, what is your why that keeps you going, Sheryl?
What is my why that keeps me going? My why is knowing who I am, what I do, and why I do it. Knowing who I am, what I do, and why I do it. Truly knowing that. And through my life, especially again, after having been shaken to my core, I learned that faith is the foundation of life. When our faith is shaken, our very foundation of who we are is shaken. So it becomes very important. It became very important for me to make my faith extremely strong. And that meant trusting in life's process to unfold as it may, and keep the core of who I am strong in the knowing that no matter what, I have faith in my ability to show up, go through whatever life is presenting me with. So what is my why is that I know who I am. I know who I am at the core of my very being. I don't shop around for who I am. I'm always growing, learning. I'm always a student. I'm always evolving. But I truly know who I am, and I operate from that place. That is who I am, why I do what I do, and in the foundation of our principles of nourishment, vitality, to be able to help other people uplift and shift in their consciousness and move forward in their lives to become better versions of who they are, and how the way they show up in the world is why I do what I do, to be able to help others.
Amen. Know who you are. Very
Know
powerful.
who you are, always, always.
I love it. Now, Sheryl, tell us more about some of the projects that you're currently working on.
Some of the projects, I've got so many exciting projects that I'm working on at the moment. The World Women Conference and Awards chapter in Israel, and building up a awesome community and establishing our presence here in Israel, and moving forward with wonderful projects there to be able to help other people, to be able to give voice to the voiceless. Those are so many exciting projects, collaborations and partnerships within our organization of Nourishment Vitality, and meeting and collaborating with so many people from all over the world. We are truly blessed in so many ways to be living in the age that we're living in, where we are able to connect with amazing talents and entrepreneurs from all over. And when you get to network and speak with other people, ideas are born, and you can move forward from there when you're in alignment with each other's visions and missions. So many amazing projects that I'm looking forward to manifesting and to becoming a reality that are in the pipeline.
Amen. Give a voice to the voiceless. Very powerful. Now, was there a time in your journey where you experienced an aha moment?
There were so many. There have been so many, and there continue to be. I'm a philosopher originally. I am somebody that is a self-reflector. I'm somebody who self-reflects, and every day I begin my day after my breathing exercises with creative journaling. There are so many aha moments. And, I always say that knowing and not doing is yet not knowing. Sometimes we hear wisdom speaking from the mouths of others, whether it be on a television show, on a podcast, or in a conversation. We may have heard the same thing over and over again, but just like that, when it resonates with you at the right time, at the right place, that is where aha happens, and you can actually shift forward in consciousness. And when that happens, when you actually shift forward to a higher level of consciousness, the aha has truly happened.
Absolutely amazing. Now, let's circle back for a moment. You said that you enjoy giving a voice to the voiceless. Now, was there ever a time in your life where you felt voiceless?
Oh, yes. If you had asked me some years ago to get up and speak in public, I would have run away. In fact, I'll tell you a funny story that I was at a health event. My expertise, as I said, I've been studying metaphysical sciences ever since I'm 15 years old, but I was extremely shy in expressing my voice or opinion publicly. And even at a health event where we had to go around and speak our wisdom of what it is that we had learned, when it came to my time, I looked at my watch, I got up and I went to the bathroom, and I sat there for over 10 minutes, believing that it was now that they had passed my turn to actually speak. When I came back, there was a delay, and boom, it was my turn, and I had to express myself, and in another language, in Hebrew. So yes, speaking publicly, voicing and sharing who I am, what I do, why I do it. My story with other people was not easy for me. It was not easy for me. It was a choice. It was something that I had to learn. I won a scholarship for the teacher leader presenter training, and I flew to Colorado to attend that. I did attend public speaking courses to learn the skill, and I chose to literally push myself out of my comfort zone and get up and do it. Chose to make my courage greater than my fear. I chose to make my courage greater than my fear. I chose to turn that weakness into a strength. By doing it, it became easier. And when we face our fears and we actually are proactive in stepping up, showing up, and following through with doing the things that we're afraid of, because that's often where the action truly is, we can grow from that. We can evolve from that. We can blossom from that. And that's what happened with me and is still happening. I hope that I will be able to speak on many, many platforms in my career and in my life.
Amen. Do it afraid. Very powerful. Now, tell us more about what gives you happiness in your life, Sheryl.
What gives me happiness in my life? My family, my beautiful boys, they bring me such joy and happiness in my life. What brings me happiness in my life is my clients, the people that I serve. When you witness transformation in somebody else's journey, through them consciously choosing to take action and hear what it is that you have to say, and to watch them experience their ahas, there is nothing like it on planet Earth. There is magic in watching the shift and the transformation in somebody else. For me, I'm honored to be able to watch that and see the results that manifest within the clients and that I serve, and in the people that I serve through my programs, through my courses, through my teachings.
Absolutely amazing, Sheryl. Now, what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
Interesting question as well. Walking a life with happiness and living a deeper, richer, more meaningful experience on planet Earth as human beings. I think that the greatest gift that we can give ourselves is the gift of our attention. Be present to your own life. Be present to your own life. So often in life, our minds have a tendency to vacillate between the past, what was, between the future, what will be, and it's very seldom that we catch ourselves in the moment. Knowing and experiencing through my life that just like that, in the next moment, things can happen and life can actually change and shift for you. I trained myself consciously to be more present in my life. And when you are, you can actually move through life experiencing the beauty of life itself. The beauty of life is to experience the self. And walking your life with purpose and more happiness, ask yourself these powerful questions. What makes me happy? What makes me smile? What nourishes me? Nourishment is not only what we eat. Nourishment is what feeds us on an emotional, on a physical, on a psychological level. What lights me up? What am I passionate about? Find out these answers for yourself. And then when you do, unapologetically step into your most powered and authentic self and live your life being truly who you are. It's not so much about the doing, it's about the being. Be present to your life.
Amen. Be present. Very powerful, Sheryl. Thank you so much for being a guest on a Walk With Me podcast. Now, where can the audience find you?
Thank you so much for having me, Regeline. It's been an absolute pleasure. The audience can find me at www.nourishmentvitality.com, nourishmentvitality.com, and or send me an email at info@sherylputerman.com, or contact me through Facebook, Sheryl Puterman, or LinkedIn, Sheryl Puterman, or Instagram @Sheryl Puterman. So all over social media, and www.nourishmentvitality.com.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Sheryl at nourishmentvitality.com. And again, Sheryl, thank you again for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast. You have a blessed day.
Thank you so much, Regeline. Thank you for having me.